Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. And in honor of Criterion Month, I started a little video series, of which you may have seen the first episode, where I don't necessarily rank, but I just mention my 3 favorite Criterion Collection films I personally own and have seen in my Criterion Collection. So I don't have all 1,200-ish movies on the Criterion Collection. I am not insane nor a millionaire, so that is not a thing I own. But I have enough to make at least a handful of these videos showing off my collection in bits and pieces and various categories, because if you're a horror person, maybe you only want to watch the horror one I had. Or if you like thrillers, perhaps, you will enjoy these 3 films, which are my 3 favorite thrillers in the Criterion Collection. So here they are. We'll get the obvious one out of the way. It's been lingering over my head for weeks now, and that is Blood Simple. I do own it. There it is. I haven't opened this. I haven't watched it since I bought this, which is pathetic because the Coen brothers are my favorite filmmakers, and this is a fantastic film. It is from 1984. It's a whopping 95 minutes long, so it's a quick one. Quick, intense thriller. It's hilarious because it's the Coen brothers. It's tautly written and directed because it is the Coen brothers. You know what? I decided to open it because I'm going to show off all of these the best I can. Because what's the point? I'm going to watch it eventually. Maybe later today. I've been in the mood. So this is number 834, if I didn't mention that. It is a 4K transfer. So as we all know, inevitable 4K coming of Blood Simple. It's got a little bit of artwork on the inside of my girl Franny and Dan Hedaya. And the lighter, the infamous lighter, of which, if you've seen the film, you know what it is. And there's the screenshot of the little gun. Yeah, they actually raised the money for this movie by making a trailer for it, which stars everyone's favorite Bubba Hotep. Star. He doesn't play Bubba Hotep. That doesn't make sense. Bruce Campbell. Also right behind me, right there. So yeah, him and Sam Raimi have been besties with the Coen brothers forever, so it's like a weird little filmmaking family that I personally fell in love with on separate occasions and realized they were all linked together in some way. But Blood Simple, amazing thriller, nice and short, sharply written, very hilarious because it is the Coen brothers, and that's what they do. Well-written, well-directed movies in as little time as needs to take to tell the story. So, number 1 is Blood Simple. Like I said, these aren't ranked necessarily, it's just my 3 favorite in order. The next one is another one of my favorite directors of all time, and this is honestly one of my least favorite films of his, and it's still, like, easily one of the best films of the 90s, and that is David Fincher's The Game, starring Michael Douglas and Sean Penn, from 97? Yeah, this is spine number 627, 128 minutes long, so it's just over 2 hours long. Once again, this is a very, very well written and directed thriller because David Fincher does no wrong. Even Alien 3 is not too bad, all things considered. So the inside artwork is pretty plain. Then you got the logo on the disc there. This movie is kind of like watching a video game where he's solving various puzzles in order to find out what the ending is. And I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it, but it is a very cool, twisty movie that just gets better the more you watch it, I think. Because I didn't really like this film the first time I saw it, to be completely honest. I thought it was a little on the slow side, but I was a stupid kid. But the more I got into David Fincher, the more I rewatched it, the more I respected how well made it is. And if there's a movie with surprises and twists in them on any capacity, usually the rewatch is not as impactful, but this is one of the movies, along with Fight Club, for the same reasons, that gets better every time you watch it, in my opinion. So David Fincher's The Game. And this one I just finally rewatched a couple days ago, finally opened this sucker up. Number 562, probably Brian De Palma's best movie. like objectively speaking, in my opinion. And that is 1981's Blowout, starring John Travolta. This does have a 4K. This is the Blu-ray. I bought it, of course, 5 minutes before they announced the 4K during the sale last summer, and finally got around to watching it like 2 days ago. But it looked fantastic. This movie's great. Buy it on either format and you will be happy. But this one does not have a 4K transfer, so I can guarantee that the Criterion 4K version looks better than this one. But this one is nothing to sneeze at. Once again, great special features. It is 108 minutes long from 1981. The sound design in this movie, being about a sound designer, rightfully so, is extremely good. Very impressive. Great editing. Brian De Palma split diopter shots up the yin-yang, as I love in all of his movies. I'm finally growing on him. I'm growing on him. He's growing on me. He's growing on me as a director over the last few years, pretty much since I first saw Blowout. I was like, wow, I actually really like this director when he does good movies like this, because Brian De Palma, let's be honest, hasn't really made a great movie in a while. Like, the last movie that you could say is great that he directed that I can think of off the top of my head is probably The Untouchables. And that was damn near 40 years ago, which is kind of sad. I can't think of anything from the 90s that he did that I've seen that is, like, famously well regarded. But his early 80s and late 70s run, fantastic stuff. So if you haven't given Brian De Palma a chance, like I didn't really do until I watched a documentary called De Palma, I believe, a few years ago, which is what introduced me to this movie's existence and made me want to watch it. And I was glad, because this is, like I said, my favorite film of his, probably. I don't know if I'll rewatch it as often as I do things like Carrie that I grew up on, but outside of Carrie, I could see myself rewatching this more than any of his other films that I've seen. So those are my 3 favorite thrillers in my personal Criterion collection: Blowout, Blood Simple, and The Game. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out my TeePublic store, and I'll see you next time.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.